Hey guys, it's me, Bill. In today's podcast, I'm stoked. We got to interview the Flooz team live in Los Angeles. Flooz is just incredible company, basically taking base by storm, providing infrastructure and the tools for pretty much all the projects to use to grow the community, to build it. And, if you're any project on base, you're using Flooz's tools. So join us and learn more about who Flooz is and what they can provide, and I think you'll find this interview very, very insightful. Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Late Night on Base. We have a podcast in person. Super stoked for this one, live in LA. We got the Flooz team. Guys, how are we doing today?
How's it going? Thank you so much for having us. Obviously, we spent the whole weekend together last week at Onchain SF. We decided to stick around for a few more days in LA, also to meet a few creators for our latest product. So happy to be here and thank you so much for having us, man.
Dude, so you guys keep the microphone. I don't need it. You guys are the star of the show, so you guys just pass it around. We did this super impromptu, so we wanted to make sure that we didn't have all the mics, but we have something. So tell me, guys, what do you guys love? You guys are flying from Dubai. You went to Onchain SF. What was your experience like there?
Wow, it was a incredible experience to first be welcomed in the W Hotel with other people from the communities that are building on base. So actually, when I entered the hotel, there were already a couple people waiting on our arrival. So it was super cool to see them in person and be welcomed so open-hearted by all the people. So that was really nice.
Yeah, I think one of the things that stood out to us the most was like we work with so many different token projects, right? Like hundreds,
Yeah.
especially on base, and we'd never really put a face to these people. So for us to just connect in person and actually discover like who's behind the project, and like meme tokens are really interesting, right? There's sort of like these memory capsules, and there's so much more to a project in terms of like the type of utility they want to provide, everything that the community is pushing. It's just cool to actually meet some of these founders and their perspective and their vision. Even Jesse Coin or Jesse Christ Coin, like these guys are crazy. They have such a
Shout out to Builder,
yeah,
who was also on the podcast.
yeah, like insane amount of stuff that these guys are cooking. So it's cool to discover that.
Yeah, and it's unique, right? Because you finally have a place where everyone can now see each other, and it makes it more of a community feel. And I felt
Right.
like this event was unlike anything I've ever experienced, where it's just like the electricity in the air was just builders helping builders, creating it from the ground floor. I equate it to like 2012 when Bitcoin was at its inception. We had Antonopoulos was just doing speaking about Bitcoin in a room full of 10 people, and look at what it held. I really do feel that we're at the early stages of base, and you guys have cemented yourselves as like the go-to conduit of onboarding all these tokens. Tell us about Flooz. For those listening on the podcast for the first time, they're not a base maxi. They're listening on Spotify. They're listening on YouTube. If you guys don't mind, what is Flooz?
Great question. Just to quickly push back to what you said, like we're really at the inception of a new ecosystem, and that's really exciting for us. We've been building in a space since 2021, and sort of partaking in this, financial economy, which is decentralized DeFi. And I think finally we've sort of struck a chord with some of our latest products, and I think that's gone sort of hand in hand with Base. I mean, Base has been around for like 1 year, so I think that's really also given us a new momentum in what we're building. So Flooz, in a nutshell, is basically the growth stack for token communities and creators to bring their people on chain. That's sort of what we've built. And we've done this in an interesting, engaging way. But it's basically about rewarding users for their participation within a token community. And that can go both ways. If you're a creator, let's say you're an influencer of some kind, you create content, you can reward your users for engaging and participating and being an active participant in your community. Same way it goes for token creators as well. You want to add to that?
Yeah, of course. So it's not only about making a product that sticks with the trader, but also a product that sticks with the token community, right? So we've built actually the tools where they can help onboard these people in a very native way. So we utilize a platform called Telegram. We probably all know. So Telegram allows us to have all these cool tools and features within a Telegram community. So with our bot being active inside of these communities, we actually help to make it very easily to be able to tap into a community, start trading the token, and communicate with other people about their adventures together.
And let me ask you this, guys: when did the idea of flooz come into existence? At what moment did you guys realize, hey, I want to be a part of this, or like, this is now coming into reality, and you two, especially, wanted to become a part of this? At what stage of your journey was that?
Great question. I think it all started with meme tokens. My very first experience was trying to buy a token and just realizing how much friction there was to even join a community and to become part of it. And I think there's multiple parts to that. There's the buying part, but there's also like, okay, where do you find out about the community's links, for example? Let's say you're looking for a contract address or their social links. Which one is legit? Is this the right community? Like all of these things, that sort of initial user journey, it can be like so confusing. And there's just so many different touch points. So me as sort of like a DJ trader coming into the space, 2019, trying to buy my first tokens is like, okay, shit, these are the things that I'm struggling with. And I think every person struggles with those things. But what I do find interesting is that a meme token is also my first touch point. And I think that goes for a lot of people. Like having a meme token is sort of like that really brings you into crypto, that allows you to be part of a community. So that's what we wanted to combine those two things. Like how can we solve real problems in the space, which is to do with onboarding and trading? And how can we combine that with the thing that really gets everyone excited and gets everyone initially to join the crypto space and get on chain? So that's sort of how we initially started.
You, what was your journey that led you to flooz?
Like back in the early days, like I focused a lot on ICOs, and this world was so different. The first time you see interacting with the blockchain, you have these lengthy codes, and then I basically left it for a bit, and then found my way back into crypto via meme tokens, via the ease of like buying crypto with Apple Pay and Google Pay. That was for me about 2 years ago when I first met flooz, and yeah, I joined the team and already believed in the product because I knew that this was like what the crypto space needed, right? And an easy way to start trading and also like get familiar with the tools at hand. So yeah, with those tools, I completely stood behind our product and yeah, did my best to like push it out as hard as possible. So yeah, that's my experience.
Yeah, maybe just to add to that. I mean, like as I mentioned, like we're building the growth stack for token teams to basically bring that community on chain, right? And one of the biggest sort of hurdles for a first-time user is like, how do you buy this project, right? And one thing that we combined was on ramping and swapping. So like a lot of people, they didn't really sort of weren't really familiar with the idea that you can just sort of merge these flows and then directly go from, let's say, buying like the native token on an L1, for example, and then just like immediately going into swapping and then having that merge as one transaction. You just bought, let's say, like a token on base in one click with Apple Pay. So like we're trying to sort of bring those type of features to the space, but it's really about onboarding first-time users. Like how can we make your first-time experience as frictionless as possible? Because that ultimately gets you on.
Tell me this: you guys are in LA, you flew to Dubai, you went to Onchain Summit SF. Now you're here in LA. What do you guys hope to accomplish in the remaining time that you're here in LA before you head back to Dubai?
That's a great question because it's a very long flight that we have to take back. It's going to be like a 20-hour journey to go back. But right now we've just released our product for creators specifically. So one thing that you're familiar with and that we really sort of like kicked off during Onchain Summit were these airdrops. So we've allowed a token community to basically reward their users on chain by conducting their own airdrops. And you can reward people within Telegram natively for joining a community, for participating in a raid, for example, like liking a tweet or engaging with that. And we took all of this and basically made it available to creators. So if you're, let's say, an influencer on YouTube and you want to now suddenly reward your users for participating in all of this, you can take different token communities and you can conduct your own airdrops. So this is what we're launching, and we're spending some time out in LA to talk to a few different creators that we want to get on board. So that's one of the main things for us right now.
How many projects are part of now the flooz ecosystem? How many how many different projects in space are utilizing your services on base specifically?
On base specifically, that would be a question for the BD master on base.
Let's hear it from the master.
Thank you. So on base specifically, we're now partnering with about 250 base projects, which yeah, have been fully personally onboarded to our ecosystem to utilize our tools, been instructed on how the best use cases could be for them, for the project, for the size they are at the moment. So some are more on a higher level that can utilize more of like join to earn features where they just use the airdrops to incentivize growth of the community. But also the smaller projects, right, that just started, that want to boost engagement, that want to build a real community. We've onboarded them all with the same personal care. So about 250 now are live with our tech, solely on Base.
Yeah, maybe to add to that, just to sort of show you the magnitude of 250 projects and what those are already capable of doing. On average, a Telegram community has around 1,000 to 2,000 users. So imagine 250 projects, each with 1,000 users that are being onboarded into Flooz. That's already a lot. During the event alone, when we took, I think, 20 projects, it was about 20 projects, right? We
Yeah,
had like
2022.
yeah, we had like Migos, AYB, GameStop, like all of these cool projects. They did a live airdrop during the 2 days.
So cool.
It was nuts, and tons of new users getting on chain. And I think in total we did like 20,000 airdrops to unique users just during the
That's so
weekend.
cool.
And of course, this went viral on social. So like whenever anyone posted about it, suddenly it was everywhere, and you had new people flocking in. But I think that just shows you sort of the magnitude of what like an airdrop sort of tool can do like this.
Are you guys first mover in the airdrop to the Telegram community? Do you know if, like, I think you guys are probably one of the
Probably a
first
first, I'd say a first mover, but there's obviously a bunch of products that are trying to do similar things. I think what stands out to us is that we have very close relationships with all of the token communities.
which is the most important thing.
Most important thing. Another thing is what we're doing is we're sort of providing different touch points. So like a token community usually has a very strong presence on Twitter. They also have a pretty good website where they explain about the roadmap and the visuals, etc. And then they obviously have a big presence in Telegram. And what we're doing is we're making sure that we cover all of these bases. So we provide an embeddable widget which allows you as a new time user to trade the token natively, buy with Apple Pay, for example, from their website. Then we also allow you, as a user on Twitter, for example, to check the link in bio for token projects. We've offered like sort of a link tree for Web3 type experience on X, and then we have our own bot, Iris bot, on Telegram. So we're covering all the bases here. I think that's unique.
I think that's more than unique, and I think now you're probably going to have people who want to copy you, but you guys have now, and that's a sign of showing that you guys are doing something right. What they can do is they can try to copy your product, but they can't copy the network that you've created. Literally, all the top base projects. We're at a stage now where I view a project and I see that they're not working with flooz and they're not a legitimate project on base. That's how far we've come. You guys work with, if you want to be a legit project on base, you need to get in touch with flooz. You need to work with them because they're literally empowering the whole ecosystem. That's the power of your network. And so, let the haters come in, let the copycats try. No one will care. To be honest, no one will give a fuck because they know you guys are the real deal. You guys show up. You flew in from Dubai. Super dope. Anyone in my network, I just pushed you guys. I'm not even wasting my time on anyone else. Let me ask you guys this. So I want to know the cool stuff that you guys have planned in the pipeline. You guys have to keep, as a top dog, you can't be complacent. You have to, keep on pushing, keep on innovating. Tell us some alpha. What's going on in the what are you guys going to be focusing on in the next few months?
Oh, that's a really good question. What the next avenue, we're bringing the Linktree alike pages for LinkedIn bios. We're bringing these to creators so that we actually give the communities an opportunity to work together with creators in the space. That's a very transparent and engaging way. So creators will be able to have their page themselves as well, showcase what they're what chilling in a sense, but also supporting, right? So a normal share would be a tweet, right? But with our pages, they're actually able to distribute tokens of the specific project they collaborate with to their following. So yeah, we help basically fill the gap between creators and communities and bring them close to each other within this tool. And then secondly, we're also going to operate on more chains. So we're already supporting 16 EVM chains, and we're opening store on Solana as well. So that's in the being built, but we're adding that very soon.
Yeah, maybe just to add on to that in terms of how the creator pages really work. So imagine you're part of the women on base community, thriving community, lots of powerful female builders in that community, but they don't have a token. What they do is they collaborate with different tokens. And I imagine that you could be rewarded in Migos token or in Toshi tokens for being an active participant in that community. You can be, let's say, creating memes. You could be writing good Twitter threads. You could be joining an AMA and staying for the whole duration of the AMA. All these things can be rewarded essentially. And we believe in this new type of economy whereby you will be rewarded for your time and engagement. And that's what we're really pushing for. So now it works for, let's say, any community. It could be late night on base. It could be women on base. And you can now take different token projects you want to collaborate with and just reward people in this currency, this social currency, which is meme tokens. And yes, Solana's also coming.
You guys are everywhere. I think getting the attention and rewarding users is the key to the game now at this point, whether it's through an airdrop, whether it's through a shout out, whether it's getting them on, getting recognitions. People want to feel like they're contributing to a meme coin project. That's why a lot of times CTOs could be very valuable. And the reason why at that point, when I talk to meme projects, is because you're finally now having a voice. People are now voicing what they want to do. And if done correctly, it's going to be really good because you're encouraging participation is in exactly what you guys are doing. Encouraging participations through your Telegram bots, through, the utilities that you guys have provided. And, then let me ask you this. So you're going to be on Solana, but you've dominated the base market. At what stage, like, I want both of your guys' opinions. Obviously we're on base. You guys have put in a lot of time and resources in base. Why base? Why did you guys choose to target the base market? And what are your thoughts on the base ecosystem going forward?
Yeah, no, really good question. I think one of the main reasons why we chose Base as an ecosystem because they actually are a very active participant themselves in harnessing community. They build some of the best developer tools out there, which I think other L2s might have missed the boat on slightly, and they really engage with everything that's being built on top of the eco. Whether you're a meme token or whether you're building a DApp or like us, for example, building a platform, like I think they really, really reach out and they do a lot to actually support funding, engage. Onchain SF, the guys, Jesse, everyone else, they actually come, they talk, they engage with the projects. And I think that's really meaningful and that really harnesses engagement on the chain and gets people to build. So I think that's one of the big reasons for us. We're live on a lot of different chains, so we could have gone anywhere else. But I think Base really stood out because of that. Maybe you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think what's special about Base is that it's not just token communities, right? Like what brought us together is also a sense of belonging to a chain, but not solely focused on the token. So it's actually focused on the builder, right? And if you compare this to any other chain, that's unseen in my opinion. So I really think like the Let's Touch Base, the Late Night on Base, the Secret Base, the Woman on Base, all come together to build let's say a more friendly way of dealing with crypto, and that's unseen in any other chain. So yeah, that's why we chose to work on Base mainly.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, right? Like a chain is basically just an open permissionless protocol, right? You don't need to talk to anyone, engage with anyone to build on top of it. And I think that's exactly where they make a difference. Also, Base is very unique because it has this sort of deep integration with Coinbase, which is initially centralized exchange, right? And that makes it a very unique sort of value proposition because you're taking something that is already established and you're putting that on chain. You're thinking about ways to decentralize that technical way. I think that's super interesting. That's different from other L2s. So we thought, okay, cool, like what can we do here and how can we add value? And of course, other chains are still appealing to us in terms of trading volume and stuff, but we want to make sure to build our community and our name on Base. Yeah.
I mean, you guys just need to keep doing what you're doing. I'm impressed. I mean, it's funny, like me and you connected like a couple months ago, and we've both grown quite a bit. So I'm seeing your guys' journey from the shadows is amazing, super cool, and I'm really happy to call you guys not only colleagues but friends. Is there anything last words you want to say to people watching on Spotify and YouTube?
Yeah. Thank you so much. I mean, definitely we've seen you grow as well. And recent interview with Jesse, it's going to be killer. I think you definitely nailed that one. I guess who's going to be the next interview?
Well, I'm not going to stop this podcast until I get Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, on. I'm a big believer in manifestation. In June, I thought to myself, I'm going to have Jesse Pollock on the podcast. I was a nobody, less than 100 followers, and I did it. And next up is going to be Brian Armstrong. It'll happen. And I believe if you put your mind to anything you do in life and you put the work, it'll happen.
100%. Love that. A lot of progression. So in terms of us, if you want to connect with us, make sure to find us on X, so flooz_xyz. Make sure to check out iris_flooz_bot on Telegram if you want to empower your community to also conduct your own airdrops. And yeah, make sure to get in touch with you for any listing requirements.
So yeah, thank you for tapping in. You can always reach out to us through our official accounts. Also DM me directly at Joop_XYZ. Happy to help you on board and get on the flooz stack and join the family on Base.
And guys, if you're watching this on Spotify, please head over to YouTube. YouTube, I'm going to have all their basically all their links to their socials, so you can find Flooz. You can find how to get involved if you're a project creator. You need to get in touch with them. Also, we'll have our Late On and Base socials as well. If you haven't followed us, please do, and like and subscribe. It's literally free and it helps us grow the channel. We do really appreciate you guys. Flooz, thank you so much. Until next time, everyone.